Hi, Donna Ottaviano-Britt here with another episode of Joyful Disciples, and I have some very exciting things to share with you on this episode. I have a terrific guest. There's a Eucharistic Congress that's coming March 25th at the Freedom Mortgage Center on the waterfront, and we have a tremendous opportunity that weekend at Congress and at the parish level to take care of our brothers and sisters in need. Hi, Donna Ottaviano-Britt here with another episode of Joyful Disciples, and I am delighted to have a great guest on today and to give you some information now about the Eucharistic Congress that's coming to our diocese on March 25th at the waterfront in Camden. So we're going to talk about some details of that, a really wonderful opportunity to help take care of our brothers and sisters that are suffering from hunger or food insecurity. And our guest is here today to tell us all about it. So welcome, Kevin Hickey.
Thank you, Donna.
I am delighted that you're here on this next episode of Joyful Disciples. So this is Kevin Hickey, who's the Executive Director of Catholic Charities for the Diocese of Camden. So Kevin, can you do us a favor and tell the viewers a little bit about the work of Catholic Charities and what you do?
Sure. Happy to. It's good to be here, Donna. Thanks for the invitation. I'm always happy to talk about Catholic Charities because it is indeed something that people of the diocese should be awfully proud of. And of course, you all support it. And we're grateful for that because you enable the work we do. And the work we do, as Pope Emeritus Benedict once said, is organized love. And so our charge is to serve poor and vulnerable people across the 6 counties of the Diocese of Camden. And again, your support enables that work. And the FaithFULL Food Drive is all part of that. So very happy to be here and certainly grateful for all the support people have given in the past, Donna, and the future too. So thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for the little synopsis on Catholic Charities for anybody that might not be familiar with the work that Catholic Charities does. But Kevin and I were having a conversation, before we started recording, and I loved what you said, is that evangelization is in the what?
It's in the work of Catholic Charities. Yeah. Again, I'm going to cite Pope Emeritus Benedict, who said that the Church has deliberately set up Catholic Charities across the globe to reenact continually, daily, Matthew 25. And in Matthew 25, Jesus did not say, I was Jewish and hungry, I was a Muslim and hungry, or Catholic and hungry. No, he said, I was hungry. And so the Catholic view is that our work of charity and justice is for the world. In our case, for everybody living in South Jersey. So we don't proselytize. We're not trying to convert people. On the other hand, I think certainly we believe that through our example of service, kindness, compassion, mercy, we will bring people to Christ.
Thank you for that. I think it's a really wonderful explanation of the work of Catholic Charities and what the real mission is to take care of people. Mm-hmm. And Jesus did tell us that the poor would always be with us. Yes. So it is our responsibility.
Right.
Again, yeah. As brothers and sisters in the mystical body of Christ, we are interdependent. We depend on each other, while collectively we all are dependent on Jesus. So I think it's really powerful. So I want to talk a little bit around what's coming to the Diocese of Camden, and that is the Eucharistic Congress that will happen at the Freedom Mortgage Center on March 25th. So you're going to begin to hear more and more about this really exciting, wonderful, holy event in which you can participate. Many of our parishes are organizing people to come to the Congress. They're renting buses. People are carpooling. Tickets are going to become available now. You'll be able to see how to get tickets in the link to the show notes for this. But it is going to be an amazing day for us to come together. There may be some seasoned people in our diocese who went to the one in 1976 in Philadelphia.
I remember that, but that wasn't me. I didn't attend it.
I did. I was in high school. I did. I was in high school at the time. Yeah, and Saint John Paul the Great was actually rolling down Broad Street in his car, and I had a chance to wave. He was waving directly to me, don't you know? Right. So we're having one here in the Diocese of Camden. It's all part of the 3-year Eucharistic Revival. And we will transition now, the Eucharistic Revival, to the parishes come June. So this is a major event. It's an opportunity for all of us to hear from the Eucharistic missionaries. So we have 2 that are coming to the Eucharistic Congress. They'll be in the diocese for several days ahead of the Congress. We'll have a youth event. We have diocesan employee event. They're going to be, the missionary will be in our high schools. Really it's going to be an amazing 4-day period where the graces will just pour out across the diocese. But I also wanted Kevin to come on and talk a little bit around the FaithFULL Food Drive, which is happening that weekend in the diocese, but then we've also linked it to the Congress. So can you talk a little bit around what people can expect to see in their parishes that weekend? And then how are we doing it at the Congress?
Sure. So, and the first thing I'll say, Donna, is I laud you and Father Hughes for saying, hey, this weekend, Eucharistic Revival Congress weekend, is a great weekend for the culmination of the FaithFULL Food Drive. So that's thrilling, I think, because it reinforces the point that we are missionary disciples meant to go out. So that the FaithFULL Food Drive is, what would you say, 7-8 years old now, I think.
I think so,
yeah. And so we do it every Lent, and it even during the pandemic, we carried on. And so we made some modifications, and originally it was intended to give food back out to food banks and whatnot, but we realized that a lot of parishes acting on their own impulse to be missionary disciples and to be in action have food pantries. And so a couple of years ago, we gave parishes the option, if you'd like to collect food for yourself, your own parish, that's great. If you want to give it to Catholic Charities, we'll arrange to pick it up. What we're really trying to do, just to measure our own progress, is to take, estimate at least the total weight. And we work with parishes on how to do that. So it's a great collective activity, and I think it's perfect for the FaithFULL Food Drive to be happening, culminating on this Eucharistic Congress weekend, because, of course, that's what Eucharist is meant to do. It's feeding us to go out and show others that God is love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. So now that's happening that weekend, but it's also going to happen at the Congress. So there's going to be some criteria. There'll be communications around the whole FaithFULL Food Drive, so that if you're coming to the Congress on Saturday, March 25th, the Solemnity of the Feast of the Annunciation, then you can bring a food donation to the Freedom Mortgage Center that day. And our Knights of Columbus are going to be organized all around the parking areas and collecting that food for the FaithFULL Food Drive. So it all goes together, right? So I often will reference the logo, right, for the Eucharistic Revival, My Flesh for the Life of the World. And so as we receive the Eucharist and we are fed every time we go to Mass to continue to go out on mission and then return at the next Mass to continue to be fed, we will actually continue to take care of those who are food insecure and those who are hungry. So I really appreciate, Kevin, you coming on this episode and talking about all these things.
As you know, I did it happily, no duress, really. I came here voluntarily.
Right. No one sees you cemented into my floor to make it all happen. So Kevin, part of the show is also for someone to tell a little bit of their story, because the show is only as good as the guest, right? Only as good as the guest.
Yeah, that's a little pressure.
So I like to ask all of our guests about kind of like, you're a seasoned person. I'm not saying you're not young, but you're seasoned. What's it been like, a relationship with Jesus for most of your life, and then ultimately like the importance of the Eucharist to you? Because this is the stuff Catholics need to get good at telling their stories. So could you tell us a little bit of your story?
Sure. I realize, even standing here thinking about what's brought me to this moment, that I, of course, lifelong Catholic, and so when I was a young lad, I was obviously fed with the Eucharist. And this wonderful sacred alchemy, if I can use that word, was acting within me, and I didn't really even know it. And of course, there's that great scripture passage when Jesus is leaving us, and he says, don't worry, I will send the advocate, the teacher, to guide you. Now that gives me great comfort, because left to my own devices, I don't think I'd be here. Who knows where I'd be? So thanks be to God, I didn't, and went a different direction, again, because of the maybe dimly perceiving a summons to follow this way. And that's okay. because then you get reinforcement along the way, and you get comfort, and you get fed, because it is a journey. And it seems to me this diocesan wide Congress is a great opportunity to be fed, to continue a journey wherever you are in that stage. And we're all in different places. We're all meant to be in different places. So, as I think about the Eucharist, I had the opportunity, I think you have as well, to be in Jerusalem. And I think of the Cenacle Church, where I was, fed the Eucharist. And that was a powerful moment to me, reminding me that, I've been cared for my life and all my life, and then charged, in a sense, exhorted through teachers like popes, like Bishop Sullivan, to go out and do your best, because we're certainly at Catholic Charities, we realize we are imperfect servants, and that's okay too, because the good Lord takes care of all that, and we don't have to worry too much about it.
No, we're just expected to do the work, right? So a lot of us, I think, are under a misperception that the fruit belongs to us. No, it isn't. We're just supposed to do the work. Right. And thinking about what we've always known, right, is that we're the hands and feet of Jesus. So we are fed with the Eucharist, and then to be his hands and feet in community, whatever community you're currently planted in. So I really appreciate those insights, and I appreciate you sharing with us, and because you bring great richness, to the diocese and to this show for those who will watch it, and helping us create some excitement for Congress and for FaithFULL Food Drive as we take care of our brothers and sisters in need. So I appreciate it, Kevin.
You're welcome. We'll look for everybody with those sacks of food, all dried good, non-perishable stuff. Yep. There's guidance in your parish, on your website, our Catholic Charities website.
Yes.
Your website.
Oh yes, and we'll put the link in the show notes to FaithFULL Food Drive. You'll know what to bring. So thanks a lot, Kevin. I appreciate it. All right, Donna, and he doesn't really look that stressed out for having been invited onto the show either, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, lively.
Lively indeed.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, you're welcome, Donna.